So the Pixel 6a is Google's latest, more affordable phone, taking a lot of inspiration from the Pixel 6 and condensing it down into a more affordable package. Google has seen success in these A-series devices in the past, and it's easy to see why. The Pixel 4a, as an example, was a particular highlight. So how good is the latest Pixel 6a, and can you really get that full Pixel 6 experience for much cheaper? I'm Cam Bunton from Pocket-lint, and this is our review. If you do like it, please do leave a thumbs up, subscribe and tap the notification bell to make sure you don't miss any more. Now, the Google Pixel 6a picks up on the design from the Pixel 6, most identifiable by the camera bar that runs across the back of the phone. That divides the rear of the device with a two-tone finish. The phone is finished in plastic or 3D thermoformed composite, whatever that means. But there's a nice quality to it. It's glossy, so will attract some fingerprint smears, but on the lighter colours like this green one, those aren't too noticeable. It is a compact device, a little smaller than the Pixel 6, but certainly manageable for smaller hands or those who don't want to carry something huge. It also carries an IP67 rating to protect against spills and splashes. And this used to be something of a rarity in phones in this price bracket, although Samsung is doing its best to change that with devices like the Galaxy A53, which also offers IP67. Overall, there's ample quality and certainly nothing that reveals it's in a lower price bracket. In reality, it's the colour combinations that make this phone a little more unique and lead you towards something that feels like it's been considerately designed. It's just got a lovely, minimal but purposeful look to it. That definitely makes it stand out from a lot of other mid-rangers. There's no 3.5mm socket though, something that's available on a range of rival devices, but this phone does support high-res music. If you get yourself a pair of headphones that support LDAC, you'll get that from the Pixel 6a, which is a lot less common for devices in this price bracket. So moving on to the display, and the Pixel 6a is the smallest in the series with a 6.1-inch display. Compare that to 6.4 on the Pixel 6 or 6.7 on the Pixel 6 Pro and you can see there is a lot less of it. It's an OLED display though, which shows great colour saturation and deep blacks that you associate with that kind of panel, while carrying a 2400 by 1080 pixel resolution. That results in a pixel density of over 400 pixels per inch, so that's nice and sharp, so this is a great looking display. The slight downside here is that it's limited to 60Hz refresh rates, so there are no faster refresh rates to smooth out fast scrolling. Many rivals now have that offering, the OnePlus Nord 2T for example, and the Nothing Phone 1, available for around the same asking price. Do faster refresh rates really make a difference? Well, yes, there's a visible difference in some situations, mostly when scrolling through the interface quickly. You might just find it looks a little less smooth and sharp when animations are fast, but in most daily use, it's really not a deal breaker. So its omission has to be considered alongside some other benefits that do come with this phone, like the power that it offers. It's also worth noting that we found the auto brightness to be well suited on this device, bumping itself up appreciably in full sun to cut through reflections and preserve image fidelity. It supports HDR, and it will aim to get the most out of your content, so your Netflix videos will look great, excepting that there will be a hole in the middle because of that center-placed front camera. There's an under-display fingerprint scanner on this phone, and we found it to work reliably at unlocking the phone, although it's a little less effective in the wet or when you have dirty fingers. Now moving on to performance and battery, and one of the nice things about the Pixel 6a is that you don't have to drop down processor levels to get it. Instead, they use the same processor that's in the Pixel 6, which costs more. It's Google's Tensor hardware, the same as you'll find in its Pixel 6 Pro. So you could say this is flagship power, although some might argue with that statement if they consider the Pixel 6 and 6 Pro to not be quite up there with the top-level fast, powerful flagships. There's a dip in RAM to 6GB, and the storage comes in at 128, which isn't tiny, but also not huge, and there's no micro SD and no option for more physical storage. You could look at that lack of expansion as a little bit of a downside here, because a lot of other competitors in this price range will have one. The Tensor hardware means the Pixel 6a benefits from flagship performance. It's not quite up to the level of Pixel 6, but it does offer a slick experience in daily tasks, stepping up to power things like flagship games with real efficiency. It can get a little warm when taking on some of those power tasks or when charging, but not to a worrying degree. There's also a 4400 mAh battery with 18-watt wired charging, but no charger in the box. That's not hugely fast, with any number of brands that can be topped up faster if you look at brands like Redmi, Poco or OnePlus, or even the Nothing Phone. Unlike the Pixel 6 proper though, there's also no wireless charging, but the battery life overall is good. It's not a huge cell, but we found it'll get through the day easily. On light days we found it would last well into the second day too. That's the benefit of having a smaller display, no doubt. Even when you fire up more demanding tasks like hitting it with long sessions of Call of Duty, the Pixel 6a will take it in its stride and give you better performance than some devices on mid-range hardware. For us, that completes the circle. Plenty of power and performance and a battery life to sustain it, so choosing a phone in this position doesn't feel like too much of a compromise. Now onto the good stuff, the camera. And Pixel cameras are known to be some of the best on the market because of the efforts that Google has been putting into computational photography. There's a hardware departure from the other Pixel models, with the 6a more closely reflecting the loadout on the older Pixel 5. That means there's no 50 megapixel sensor as you'll find on the Pixel 6 or 6 Pro, but you do get two good cameras rather than a collection of junk cameras like you'll find on a lot of rival devices. The cameras put in a solid performance, they're simple to use, offering that familiar point and shoot reliability without having to mess around with options to get a decent result. You'll get night mode that will swing in to make those low light photos possible, and the great thing is that Google seems to be able to pull a photo out of just about any situation. Point, shoot, and the result will be competitive. The camera produces nicely balanced images with good consistency and color balance between the ultra-wide and the main camera, which is often a problem for some phones. There's no optical zoom, instead offering a 0.6 times ultra-wide and then out to 7 times digital. But the digital zoom isn't particularly noteworthy. It gives pretty mottled results and may not be hugely useful to everyone. On paper that might make some rivals look attractive, but generally speaking, longer digital zoom just gets worse, so it's not worth having. The edge detection on Pixel phones is often excellent, relying on Google's AI to help boost these features, but Google Photos also offers many of these features in the editing options, and those apply to all the images in your gallery, not just the ones that come from this phone's camera. You'll get great portraits from the front and rear cameras, the only feature it really misses out on being the motion photo option, which will blur your portrait to give the illusion of speed. That remains the preserve of the Pixel 6 and the Pixel 6 Pro. Overall though, the Pixel 6a puts in another solid performance. Google pushed AI to make its camera work, and the advantage is that it's not dependent on the camera hardware. Some say that it's all fake, but it's really just using technology to create a smarter camera experience. Ultimately, you point and you shoot and you get a great photo, and that is really what most people want. Now software, and one of the advantages of opting for a Pixel device is that you'll get a bloat-free experience. There's no pre-installs, no duplication of apps, and you'll be front of the line for updates to the new version of Android. It's expected to get 3 OS updates, taking it through to Android 15 in 2024. There's also the promise of 5 years of security updates, which is a great commitment to ensure that the phone remains useful well into the future. The software experience on the Pixel 6a is essentially the same as it is on other Pixel devices, allowing themed customization through Material U with a fast and fluid experience day to day. So in the end, the Pixel 6a delivers some flagship hardware at a mid-range price point. There's the widely lauded Pixel camera on the rear, which offers a great experience while not using the latest hardware from Google. This is a compact phone with a great display, albeit limited to 60 Hz. The inclusion of IP67 protection is a great benefit in this price bracket, so the Pixel 6a is an ideal phone for someone looking for a compact and powerful device offering great value for money, with the bonus of 5 years of software support. Let me know what you think of the Pixel 6a in the comments below. Would you rather this or the more expensive models? If you want to see a comparison between this and the regular Pixel 6, also let me know in the comments and I will get that made. If you did like this video, please do leave a thumbs up, subscribe and tap the notification bell to make sure you don't miss any more. And I'll see you again in the next one. Bye for now.